Welcome to the 1% Insight. Today I'm joined by Roisin Bennett, CEO of Marketing Mentors. Roisin is passionate about empowering businesses through AI driven marketing solutions, and with her great experience in marketing and entrepreneurship, Roisin has a skill set that helps businesses make change happen. This is a conversation you won't want to miss. Welcome to the 1% Insight, Roisin.
Thank you for having me, Jack. Delighted to be here today.
So let's go back, Roisin, to how your kind of career in marketing began.
Well, Jack, my marketing journey started out well before the digital age. I started out before the internet, and I my first big marketing job was working in Paris in tourism development for the west of Ireland for Shannon Development for those that still remember it, and my role was to promote the west of Ireland and the airport as a gateway to the west of Ireland. And it was very much the traditional way of marketing. We uh, dealt with tour operators and airlines directly. We made sales calls. We attended tourism fairs and the traditional media advertising. And so then internet came along, and it changed everything. And I think probably in travel, uh, adopted the digital, for digital bookings and airline bookings, and with the emergence of low cost carriers and Ryanair, so the whole model shifted really to digital buying and to online. So at that point, I took the opportunity and went into entrepreneurship and developed my first business, which was it was a data collection or a customer feedback system to collect data on customers on airport. It was specifically for the travel sector, and and there started my journey in entrepreneurship.
You've kind of owned multiple companies and started companies throughout your whole career, like you mentioned, from the data collection to now marketing mentors and what you're doing in AI, which obviously is probably vastly different from where you started. A lot of our listeners would be hopefully aspiring business owners and people in marketing departments that might be working with maybe entrepreneurship where they're leading projects or leading businesses within businesses. So I think this is really applicable for those people. What are the biggest learnings you've had from those experiences of setting up your first business to where you are today?
I started that first business was called Travel Ace, and I actually joined an acceleration program. It was New Frontiers, so it was a year long program in setting up a business and building your business strategy. And I noticed with my other businesses and for my own, the whole marketing or the whole digital landscape, it was tough to navigate, and particularly for SaaS businesses. I found that it's a fast paced business. To succeed, you needed to grow fast. You needed to have that kind of marketing technical ability, and I noticed for myself and for other businesses that there was a need for marketing support. Marketing was often it's probably one of not, the lack of marketing and good marketing was often the reason for startups not succeeding. And you know that in the early stages of a startup business, your cash tight and resources are tight. So marketing is often, and still is maybe, often neglected, and when it's actually probably one of the most important things you need to be doing. So I set up Marketing Mentors. Marketing Mentors was because and marketing had become quite complex and technical, that I Marketing Mentors, the whole idea behind it was bringing the expertise from successful startups and marketers that had successfully set up business to share and to train new startups. So matching the startup businesses with the right mentor that could teach them and train them, and that was the whole principle behind it. Yeah, and which and still is now with marketingmentors.ai, which I'm now setting up, is to bring that um, marketing expertise to particularly to small businesses and to new businesses and SaaS businesses.
And you've kind of shown throughout your whole career, like you're innovating constantly, and constantly looking at what the market needs, which is something that a lot of founders probably don't do. They kind of create the solution first and then look for a problem to fill it. But like you're looking at the market, looking from the outside in, finding the problems that are affecting businesses today, but also looking forward in terms of what's happening tomorrow and down the line, to keep them prepared. Uh, Going back to obviously when you started your first company, and noticing that change in the digital landscape from maybe offline activity to things starting online. And then obviously you had to navigate through social media. And now obviously with AI on the horizon, how do you kind of keep innovating, or keep your like a finger on the pulse essentially of what's happening in the market right now to know what those companies need?
What drives me actually, Jack, it's not so much about being a passionate marketer. It's about helping business actually, helping small business and entrepreneurship, helping them succeed. So I I think you always have to look ahead of trends and on the marketing landscape, um, how they're changing, how I can best how I can actually best help startups succeed in the early stages. So I think as marketers we have to be ahead to know what's coming down the road. Um, I think the it can be a complex area and can be overwhelming for small business, and they're just not going to have the the the, the resources or the know-how to implement the type of marketing that they need. They're most likely busy doing everything, and so I was trying to build kind of a solution for companies that it could it will obviously have plug and play. We'll design the best marketing program for your ability and what level they're at as well, because every company is different and every business owner's ability is different as well. Um, they may not always be that keen to, for instance, to do video work or to do video promotions. So we try to tailor the best marketing solution to their needs.
And was entrepreneurship like in your family? Was it something you kind of started off yourself, or did you have like an influence from other family members or people you knew kind of growing up that made entrepreneurship a reality, or did you just kind of lead the way and go for it?
There wasn't necessarily entrepreneurship in my family, but I found when I was based in Paris, working for Shannon Development, and I was a one man show in a sense, and the west of Ireland and Shannon Airport, people thought my name was Shannon because it was my business. It was always like I was self employed, because I was running it on my own. So I think. Um, Maybe that was the start of it, But I am passionate about entrepreneurship, and I really do admire startups, and I mentor on a platform called Growth Mentors as well, and that is a platform similar to what Marketing Mentors was about, but it's so I regularly mentor startup businesses in the early stage, and in a way, it's always exciting with a new with a new business, that the owner is passionate about it. They've got a great idea. They have a great story to tell, and I really enjoy helping them to interpret that story and how to get it out there. Because when you see a business that has great potential, they have all the attributes, and I also like the idea of helping the small guy, to to punch a bit higher. When I was working in Paris, Ireland, we're a small little dot of a country competing against worldwide. We really always had to punch above our weight, to try and get business in, and I kind of applied the same to working with small business. We try to help the those that have really great potential, to punch above their weight, really.
With any career, obviously, more when you kind of go into business ownership, there'll be challenges along the way that you have to navigate with your own business, and then obviously client work and different areas like that. What challenges or changes have you faced in your career, in marketing especially?
Well, I suppose it's the changes in technology, really, yeah, and the digital landscape. I mean, there have been huge shifts throughout my career, and I think it's the ability to adapt and embrace change, has stood to me well, because with the onset of, with the internet and digital marketing, um, that was, I learned as I went, because you had to. And in fact, the and now with AI, there's a now a new major shift in how we do things again. And to me, with the shift in to AI and what AI is doing, um, it's actually renewed my interest in marketing and passion in marketing, because um, marketing had become very technical, and it was a technical game. The race was to be on the page one of Google, and that's not particularly a part that I excel in or that I enjoy. Whereas now with AI, while SEO is still important, obviously, we can focus more now on engaging with the customer. Personalization, it's more predictive than reactive, because we can foresee, we can predict and forecast trends that are coming. And with AI, it is all about personalization, and you're going to see more um, conversation, or would say uh, uh, individual kind of, what's what I'm trying to say. It is more about personalization, yeah, and that's what the customer wants, and that's that is the way AI is going to be able to deliver very personalized messages to the end consumer.
The whole ethos of the podcast is the 1% insight. So learning from the top marketers in their specific industries to kind of everyone makes kind of these 1% changes, or they're trying to get that little bit better every time. And that's kind of a testament to your career as well, how you've always spotted those changes and acted beforehand. Because even a lot of marketers now, myself included, like we're not fully invested in AI just yet. We're using it on a base level. We're bringing it into our workflows to automate tasks. But like you're really leading the way in terms of AI and that marketing program, especially in Ireland, in the business scene. What 1% changes in your adaptability have you made over your career, or what you've tried to always do to kind of stay ahead and find those, I won't call them trends, but shifts in the market, to understand that this is happening now and it's going to impact the future? How do you kind of spot those changes in the market?
Yeah, I guess it was early 2023. There was a buzz around ChatGPT, and uh, I was working for a company at the time that had uh, had a need to analyze a lot of data, and I was testing ChatGPT to. I had pages and pages of Excel sheets, and it was a customer feedback, and I tried ChatGPT to analyze and to report on this data, and it was just mind blowing. in a matter in a matter of seconds, it was just, I couldn't believe it was possible to do this. It broke it down, analyzed, reported, and also then advised on what to do next, and also always give you a whole marketing plan. and and I was just blown away by it, and I realized this is something so new. Um, I mean, I find that AI has been, so it's, I suppose, from personally using it, and you realize, look, if this is just the start, what are we going to be capable of doing? So it was. I find that AI has been a great leveler as well. It areas that I wouldn't have been particularly strong in. Um, AI is really helping me to bridge those gaps where I didn't have the expertise, or in areas that I would often have had to outsource different skills. Um, I'm actually capable of doing it now. So it was really exciting, because and the way things are going, Jack, is that, more like we'll all have our own AI assistants. I find at the moment that what I find particularly useful are, creating your custom GPTs. And that sounds a little bit scary for people. They kind of go, "No, I'm not technical." You don't need. That's the whole point about OpenAI. It's for non-techies. And I think, you know, they're okay. We train people on how to use it, how to use, and there are ways and there are tools that make it easier. But really, you can start very basically, just having a conversation, and because that's what it is. It is conversational. You can talk as you talk, and you can improve as you go and get more technical. But it's um, it's all about having a conversation, I suppose. So it was testing it for myself and seeing the power and what it could do for me. And I suppose it's just how I just this is just incredible, and where it's going. I mean, it's. I think we're about to go into the next stage of it, of AI, which is really going to blow people's minds. I mean, you see every day every day on I'm on LinkedIn every day, having conversations and sharing information and learning from other creators. That's where I learn most, and and on YouTube. But I mean, every day I'm commenting on people's posts, and it's sort of groundbreaking development and it's happening daily. It's just happening at such a pace, that we're I and I think we're actually more advanced than we would have thought when we started out using it in 2023. I mean, AI did exist long before 2023. It's just that at the end of 2022, it was made mainstream and that it was open to everyone to use. So it's a very exciting journey. I know at the same time can be a bit frightening, and there's a lot of unknowns. I think that whole area around data security and um, you know fake things. I mean, that is a concern because with the technology that is there now, you can really create videos that look from text. It is just mind blowing. Next week I'm creating, yeah, and people don't like the idea of this, but I'm creating my own clone. I will have I will be able to be my clone will be able to attend this next podcast, and you won't know the difference. That is the reality of it. And so it's exciting, a bit terrifying as well, when you see what's coming. But we have to embrace it, and it's not going. It's not a fad. It's not. It's only going to get it to accelerate. I think, from now. So I would be encouraging people to embrace it, to understand it, and just try. I think if you start trying some of the tools, or like one area, I would encourage businesses if they're starting out, maybe to identify one area in their business, that they could benefit from, and test it. I think, for instance, I often encourage businesses to start with maybe your customer service or customer feedback, or customer support, and it's so easy now to create a chatbot for your that can answer all the questions about your business, and that can offer a customer service that normally would have there had to be done manually, or someone calling on a phone, or it's someone sending an email. It can all be done now through AI and AI assistants or chatbots, and so it still probably sounds a bit scary and extreme, and for people, but it's actually takes the repetitive tasks out, and it can actually do them better than humans can.
It's a revolution in itself, I guess, because like you mentioned there, we're probably only like 18 plus months into it being mainstream, since January 2023, and it's just
Yeah.
accelerated everything so quickly. What have you found, Roisin, to be maybe the best use case so far this year, either for yourself personally, or for the clients you're working with?
As I mentioned, I think that the custom GPTs are particularly useful, um, in my business, and I would encourage any business to consider them. Um, when I say custom GPT, like I would create within this is within ChatGPT or within OpenAI, create my custom GPT that would be like they're almost like an assistant to me for that particular topic. So, for instance, I've created a custom GPT around branding, And so this is my branding GPT. And I can program and educate that GPT on all my branding training. Also, I can apply. For instance, I'm a big admirer of story brand and build a story brand and the teachings behind that. I can incorporate that. I can reference that teaching within my GPT. I can program them to say apply the story brand technique when building a brand for this for a company. So it means that every time I um, I'm building a brand or helping somebody with their branding, I can apply all this thinking and to their brand. So it takes out all the repetitive work, and so I think they're particularly effective. As I mentioned, then for the likes of customer service and I think is there any business that doesn't have a need for a customer service that can actually be set up for you with all of the like there is one a chatbot I can set it up in minutes that will read everything that's on my website and can so that when somebody comes on onto your website and they have any question, you have um, Roisin chatbot there ready to answer, but it's got all of the information from my website and any other frequently asked questions. Um, I think now the other thing to consider as well is that conversational um, um, chatbots are kind of the way of the future and video. That it's go that will it will be we audio is going to be very very important in promoting your brand. So I would encourage people to consider that that they look at video and start building their assets and start building um their 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 communication pieces and video was going to be really a big part of that going forward because um, text only, and obviously it's not going to cut it really anymore. So in the next number of weeks, I'm investing a lot on video and video material and video promotional material. So I would encourage people to consider that because it's coming faster than we think.
Exciting, especially that kind of in video platform as well. That can create those kind of custom avatars of yourself, and it speaks like you, and it looks like you, and it probably like I know obviously there can be a very slight variance to what it looks like, but I imagine in a year or 2 years or 3 years, as it keeps learning and improving, it would be very hard to distinguish what's real and what's AI, which I think will be something for the especially social media platforms. And I know they're trying to incorporate it with like modified content tags and AI generated content tags, especially on Meta. But it will be interesting to see how that changes people's behavior and how they consume content as well. Do you have any thoughts on that in terms of how people might react now versus maybe how it might play out in the future with AI content versus real content?
It's an area, I've a real interest in, but people don't always like it. They think, oh, is it false? Is it, how are we going to tell what's real and what's not real? But like I find the avatars and the videos, the text to videos, they can be very useful for explainer videos or for like you're probably familiar with Synthesia or there are a few big ones. There's our one, and they create from text. So we'll say you have a presentation, um, and you're explaining some aspect of your business, and sometimes it can be a boring aspect of the business, but you can create video, avatar video, to explain that, and the avatars themselves are becoming more personal, lifelike, and but it is probably a better way than having a long document or a long boring presentation that they can be presented. Now it has gone one step further than that in that the avatars now can be made look like you, and they can be and that's there already. And what what I'm doing, I'm creating one next week. But to actually create a really lifelike one, like you need to do a high quality filming. of yourself. And people don't know that yet. That in order to get that exact clone of yourself, you do need to film it with a green screen and to have high definition. And so I'm going to be testing that out next week. Um, like it has its use cases. It's like you could argue the content that I'm having this avatar speak about is still my content. It's still got my message. It's yeah. So I just have it presenting it for me. Um, yeah, I think it is a huge issue. Going forward. I mean, you see it. Yeah, you see the fake videos of we're coming up to an election in the US now, and it's it's a bit scary because even though a lot of us looking at them know they're fake, a lot of people don't either. So it's I'm not sure where that area is going to go. But I don't have any problem with creating a good clone. It's my material. I'm not faking anybody else's material. So it's definitely going to benefit me, and it's going to have. I can see a lot of use cases for it. Um, but yeah, it is questionable going forward where it's actually going to go.
In terms of output and the different use cases, like you say, it is your content. You're providing the text, and it's your content. So, like with that use case, I think it's a really good use case. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And that kind of leads me on to one of my last questions, Roisin, which is, what is, I guess, especially into AI and marketing, what is the one piece of advice you would share with companies trying to grow their business online in 2024 and obviously looking at 2025?
So when it comes to AI, Jack, it's and to marketing, like the uh, I'm not, I think there's kind of a perception there sometimes that, AI, it's cheating, or it's, it's not real marketing. But the tools within that AI now provide allow us to be better marketers. Um, like I find one area that when I mentor companies, the small businesses, that they've skipped ahead of the foundational parts of their business. And for instance, identifying their ideal persona, their ideal who is their market. Um, AI now helps you identify to precision, who your whose ideal customer is. It's uh, it's tools like that, and that are making us better marketers. It's not. It's actually using it to build your foundations, your messaging, your building your offer. What is your idea? These are areas that sometimes I find a small business will brush past, or they'll come to you and they'll say, "Well, who's your market?" And they say, "Oh, everybody that has a," and they'll often have an idea, and they don't go back to the basics and actually really identify who their market is. Would say for competitive analysis now, we can fine tune that so much, to such detail that we can see what the competitors are doing, building your case study, uh, targeting that audience then directly with a personalized message and a personalized. So it is all of the foundational stuff of marketing, um, that that we can do a lot better now with the tools. So I would go back. I like in my on my program, uh, we always go back to the foundations, and build your messaging, your branding, your proposition, and there are often areas that get brushed over because a busy startup busy, they have to do everything, and they'll sometimes leap ahead the early stage. So for me, it's yeah, AI, it's fantastic at producing content and at producing great videos now, and great. But if you don't have the foundations in place in the first place, it's just going to be a lot of noise. So I would say I use the tools to um to build a strong strategy in the first place, and in that strategy, it's identifying your market and who really is your ideal client, profiling that client, then uh, looking at the competition, developing your offer, and then how to use technology like in automated systems, and what's the best platform to be on to get to target that market. And so I'm using it for like the foundational aspects of building a marketing strategy, more so than, yeah, obviously it's great for building content. Um, the going back to the talking about custom GPTs and using ChatGPT for building content, you can make it sound. I think a lot of people find that they try ChatGPT or other platforms, and it turns out very generic type of content. So you can train it to be you with all of your information. So, and there are other platforms like Claude, um, .ai that probably have a better way of it's considered to be better for content. For it sounds quite human, but you can. I would say that there are so many platforms now and so many tools. Um, you can really use ChatGPT as your base. I'd say start with one and try and get good at it. With proper prompting and programming, ChatGPT really can do anything for you. And you have all of the other GPT plugins. It really can do it all. Other platforms have their strengths. Like I'm a big fan of Perplexity, because of for research. And Perplexity's platform, it's like it's like a search engine, um, but it provides all the sources of data. I really like that as a platform because everything is clear. You see where you're getting information, and you can cross check it, and it's a very nice platform to work with. But ChatGPT does have all of that in there, and it's so I'd say start with that. Um, Try out a few different techniques, but use it for building your brand and for building the foundational aspects of a strategy.
I think those are fantastic, actionable advice as well, that people can use. Like you mentioned there, the foundations aspect of it is something that I think we can all go back on and review regularly because things change, and the offer might need to change, or maybe you're finding your service has a different fit now, or your product to a different target market. So I think using the information that is available to speed up that process and make it efficient, and it comes at work as well. Like you know better than I do in terms of you have to be intentional about using the platform to its best capability, and that kind of depends on yourself as well, prompting it with the right and correct information that you have.
Yeah, I mean, within ChatGPT, you can, for instance, you can build a landing page. You can build websites from ChatGPT now with different GPTs. Um, it's really very powerful, and I think most people are only using probably a small aspect of it, but it's pretty powerful, and it has really. I mean, you could create videos from ChatGPT now with the likes of Veed, GPTs. So you can do it all from that platform. So I would say, yeah, uh, concentrate on getting good at one, and testing it, trialing it, experimenting with it. Follow some of the big creators, like I on LinkedIn. There's some they share amazing information every day on how to do different techniques. And YouTube is a great source of AI teaching, and because I like it. I mean, there's so many courses now, many free, but there's nothing like hands on and giving it a go. You can't make a mistake. And so it is trial and error and experimenting. But there are great sources of training, and on both LinkedIn and YouTube. That's where I source most of mine. Also, I find that AI has uh, opened up the uh, the world. Really, we've become it's kind of quite smaller because we're all in the same boat, and I find that I'm probably following more people or having conversations with more people in different countries now, that because language now isn't a problem. We're all speaking the same language. Again, like within ChatGPT, your translation, automatic translation, it's there. So it has broken down barriers in that way, and which is actually quite exciting. And um, like I work with, I have people that work with me on projects that are, they're from all parts of the world, and we all have a one voice now, in AI.
Roisin, thank you very much for sharing your 1% insights today. Where can our listeners find you?
I would say follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I post daily, pretty much, well, Monday to Friday on LinkedIn, and have a conversation on there. Or I have a website, marketingmentors.ie. But as I said, I'm developing a new website that is marketingmentors.ai. So I'm taking some time out next week now to get that in place. And I will be building my own website from ChatGPT.
Brilliant. We look forward to looking at it and keeping up to date, and we'll link them in the show notes as well. So thank you very much, Roisin.
You're very welcome. Thanks a million, Jack.